35 kinds of people can't go. Who do you mean?
Why can't you go?
Kaizo King Bodhisattva begins. 12 years of the Republic of China. Wangjiakan in southeast Shandong. July 5th, 10th, Hungry Ghost Festival Night. The centenarian in the village, Mrs. Wang, died without a disease. 5 generations of the elderly lived together. He is a kind person famous for hundreds of miles. Widowed in youth. Told the third son. He also adopted 2 orphans who escaped from poverty. Follow local cleaning rules. It should have been most of 3 days. Close and distant relatives and friends came to see you off. But on the eve of delivery, the eldest son of the Wang family, Wang Shuren, had a strange dream. Fog in my dream. He was walking down a path he had never seen before. The sides are covered with small white flowers, shaped like a lotus, snow without lotus leaves. There is a simple grass at the end of the road. Anmei stood for the monks, wearing a kasaya, holding a staff, holding a snow-white one beside him. Large dog with earlobes to the tip. Funeral tomorrow. 5 kinds of people don't need money. The monk spoke, soft voice, but with unquestionable majesty. Pregnant. Those who are not allowed to enter Sangtang Zinchenren. At the end of the 3 dynasties, treat those who are not filial piety as usual. Required time. Those who are seriously ill, far from safe. Those who have a grudge against the king, and don't come before. Wang Shuren wanted to ask the original monks, but he said these 5 types of people. If a funeral is near, lesser self-damage. The house is restless. Remember, remember. Painted silver just fell. The white dog suddenly looked up, let out a low cry. Wang Shuren suddenly woke up. The sky outside the window will be bright. There is an inexplicable white flower next to the pillow. Just like the road in the dream. King Jizo Bodhisattva. Wang Shuren's father, Mr. Wang, listened to his son's story. Chen Yin with a goatee. Those 5 kinds of people are rather old-fashioned. But the new Tianren stared at this one. How come I've never heard of it? The Wang family is discussing. Wang Shuren's daughter-in-law Zhao was overjoyed. Remember what my grandmother once said. Kaizo King Bodhisattva Hall Hades Transcendence. Most knowledgeable about life and death. He got married. I'd rather believe it. Finally, the second uncle who presided over the funeral made the decision. Centenarians die. It was a funeral, but since the Bodhisattva dreams, we'll do it. Shoren, remember those 5 kinds of people clearly. Arrange carefully tomorrow. But you never know. What should come cannot be avoided. Shell at 4 o'clock, 9 a.m., the first surprise arrived. The daughter-in-law of the Zhou family actually stole herself standing outside the yard with a basket of eggs. 20 years ago, his mother-in-law and grandmother Wang, there was a dispute over the ownership of a well. Although later reconciled, but the daughter-in-law of the Zhou family always held a grudge. I kowtow from a distance. Zhou's daughter-in-law and her coldness. Wang Shuren is not easy to stop, only by his brothel. Strange thing is, he just walked to the morning hall. The light on the offering table suddenly went out. After reigniting, the blue eggs cracked into fine lines. The egg white slowly seeps out. The daughter-in-law of the Zhou family paled, hastily kowtowed and walked out. I tripped as soon as I left the gate. The eggs are all broken on the stone street. He got up and walked away without looking back. Later, I heard that I had a low-grade fever when I got home. 3 days is fine. Resentment attracts yin air pressure. The oldest man in the village, Chen, was cooking a cane. Sighs, people from the old courtyard came to the feast. Unrest. Strangers and beasts implicated. 50 a second accident ensued. Uncle Lee, who is suffering from lung fatigue, can't stay in the wing. Sneak into the side window of the morning hall while you are unprepared. I want to take a look at the old sister's appearance from a distance. He just stood still. Suddenly, a gust of wind passed through the hall. He couldn't stop coughing. He coughed up a mouthful of bloody phlegm. The family hurriedly helped him back to his room. That night, Uncle Lee had a high fever. The originally stable condition has taken a sharp turn. I asked Lang Zhong to stick needles and take medicine. It took 7 or 8 days to recover. Grandpa Chun shook his head. A person who has been sick for a long time has weak yang qi. Yin qi will fall as soon as it is rushed. This is low liar. Feed 3 grams at 2 p.m. And then something even more amazing happened. Wang Xiying, a pregnant woman who should have been in a neighboring village, thought about it. I feel that it is unfilial not to send my grandmother the last journey. Sneaked back. He just entered the threshold of the Wang family compound. Sudden abdominal pain. Cold sweat. If you see red, you will be born prematurely, the experienced woman exclaimed. The crowd carried him into the house with all hands and feet. The midwife shook her head and the fetal position was not correct. Big trouble. Finally, Wang Shuren was put on the carriage, 30 miles in time to the county church hospital. After a night of rescue, Wang Xiying gave birth to a baby boy weighing less than 2 kilograms. But he died first. The child lived in the incubator for a whole month. Pregnant women give birth to a new life, rush with death. Mr. Chun later told the Wang family, "This is not superstition. It is the key of life and death that cannot be integrated. Look at those old cats and dogs. They leave their dead companions before giving birth. It's just nature." 3 p.m. late. The 4th accident arrived quietly. Dead uncle who just had a great-grandson 3 days ago. It didn't go very far. He thinks newborns are not in a hurry. There is no end to it. Walking around the village entrance with my great-grandson, who has only been in my arms, I want to wait for the sideburns to be far looser. But just before Wang Jiachi came, the baby in my arms suddenly cried. The small face made Qingzi wake up and take a look. It is said that the wind blew up and the needle was injected with medicine before it slowed down. And here's what's even stranger. Then 3 months. The child cries every night. It wasn't until after the 100 days banquet that it gradually became stable. The soul of a newborn baby has not been heard. The sense of parting in the white market is too strong. The child can't keep it. Mr. Chun said this 3rd taboo. It's the first time I've heard of living to be 80. But since the Bodhisattva specifically pointed out, it must be polite. What scares the Wang family the most is the 5th decoration with a laughing, unsatisfied cousin actually didn't leave. This uncle lost his mother 3 months ago. According to the valley, filial piety is required for 1 year. But I heard that Mrs. Wang passed away. He thinks it's okay to be close relatives. Secretly mix in the crowd of hanging banquets. When 8 strong men carried the official out, halfway, the bar that lifted the official suddenly broke. The coffin is fiercer. Cousin happened to be standing on that side. Subconsciously reach out to help, but he was locked with his feet and slammed into his chest, vomiting blood on the spot. Later, when Lang Zhong was diagnosed, his ribs were fractured. Congestion inside. Uncle was bedridden for more than a month. Tell everyone I was wrong. Emphasis on filial piety. You can't break the rules of your ancestors. Armed accident. Come true. The Wang family has no doubts about the beginning of the dream. But what puzzled them was, Kaizo King Bodhisattva, why should we specifically warn these 5 types of people? What is in it? The night of the illness, Wang Shuren tossed and turned and couldn't sleep, so I went to sit in the old house where my grandmother lived. Moonlight shines through the curtains. Sprinkle on the rattan chair that Grandma used to sit on. Wang Shuren in a trance. I smelled the fragrance of the little white flowers in my dream again. He unknowingly fell asleep at his desk. This time he came to the grassy shore of his dream clearly. King Jizo Bodhisattva is still standing there. The white dog lies quietly at his feet. Woe to you. Bodhisattva smile. Ask the Bodhisattva to begin. Why shouldn't those 5 types of people go to funerals? Wang Shuren bowed respectfully. The Bodhisattva caresses the white dog and arrives slowly. First, pregnant women are not allowed to enter. The fetus in the womb is the newborn soul. Like a bud, the history of mourning is the breath of death, like autumn frost and winter snow. Life and death. Not only is the fetus damaged, the pregnant woman's own yin and yang will also be out of balance. This is the gift of nature in heaven and earth, not alone. The second is that the newborn cannot enter the home. 3 days of response, the soul is restored, like a candle in the wind. In the white market, parting is full of sadness. Also disturbs heroic spirits. The Ching cries at night. The soul of the middle is unstable. This is the foundation of protection. The third filial piety is disrespectful. Loyalty and filial piety. My own aura is already gloomy. If loaded into the heart, double mourning and stacking, adding insult to injury, hurt senior vitality. And also cite the old soul to make the world, next to blocking the new soul from being reborn. Seriously, ill people are not allowed in. Chronically ill person, yang qi deficiency, like the residual lamp jiangxi lost. Concentration of yin qi, like a cold wind hitting a lamp. If you are not careful, the lights will go out. Not only unintentionally, more likely to worsen the condition. Those who have no grievances cannot enter. This complaint is not over. Aura comes with its own entanglements. If the king is banned to arouse the obsession of the dead, can't stay. The living complain that the opposite is blocked by the king's death. It's a double whammy. Wang Shuren suddenly realized, ask the Buddha why these principles are not widely known. The Bodhisattva sighed that there are these taboos in the ancient truth. Then the years go by. People forget or doubt. I dream of you today. Non-new regulations. It is regarded as worshiping ancient principles, life and death. Be in awe. These rules are ostensibly seen as a way to avoid trouble. It's about teaching people when to approach. When should it be far? When should we meet? When should we disperse? This is the great wisdom of life. The white dog suddenly looked up. Ear movement. Bodhisattva Tao, god of cookery, is coming. You remember, there will be a disaster in your house tomorrow. But if it could be endless, self-resolvable. The voice fell. Wang Shuren woke up. I find myself still in the old house, but I don't know when I have a string of wood plants in my hand. There are 18 in total, and each one has a faint lotus pattern. The next day is the first 7 soul nights. By custom, The family will stay in the mourning hall until the dead return. In the evening, the sky is sudden. Dark clouds top, sometimes just after 5 p.m. The wind was blowing. Torrential rain. The candles in the mourning hall were blown upside down by the wind. Suddenly, the century-old locust tree in the yard make a loud noise. A thick branch was broken by lightning. Hit the roof of the mourning hall. Avoid Wang Shuren shouting. Everyone hurriedly dodged. At this critical juncture, strange things happen. The truncation was 3 feet above the roof. As if taken off by something invisible, biased. It smashed into the open space in front of the mourning hall, just a few steps away from the nearest person. The smoke clears. People were horrified to find out where the severed limb hit. It is the position where the Zhou family's daughter-in-law stood yesterday, Uncle Li peeking under the window. Wang Xiying has abdominal pain. The foot of the courtyard where the fourth uncle holds his grandson wandering, the path of Uncle Fuguan's injury. Precisely those 5 kinds of people, the center of yesterday's journey. If it weren't for the Buddha starting to make these 5 kinds of people avoid, the second uncle was afraid and said that the branch fell today. I'm afraid it's going to kill you. And here's what's even stranger. After the rainstorm, where the severed branch broke, a clump of small white flowers grew. It is exactly the same as the pillow next to Wang Shuren in his dream. Grandpa Chun checked it slightly. Old tears. Is this Jizang lotus? Legend has it that only the Bodhisattva King Kaizo sanctuary will only open. Blessed Wang family, blessed by the Buddha. After Mrs. Wang's zombie, Jizo King Bodhisattva begins the story of the 5 taboos spread all over Shilibaxiang. Some people didn't believe it at first, but the continuous verification makes people have to believe. 3 months later, the Jiang family in the neighboring village does funerals and does not believe in evil. Let the pregnant daughter-in-law stay in the mourning hall. As a result, the daughter-in-law miscarried that night. The mother-in-law fell ill in a hurry, and the Jiang family has been depressed since then. Another half-year funeral for the Li family. Let the father of the under-month-old baby, the leopard, be buried. Baby comes home with a high fever and convulsions. Although he was rescued, he left behind the sequelae of convulsions, a pile of forces. Let more and more people start paying attention to these encouraging thorns. Wang Shuren sorted out the cost of the dream. Please hand in the book after Mr. runs. Copy multiple copies and send them to nearby villages. Every time I go to the central plains of Qingming Festival, you will also explain to young people under the big tree at the entrance of the village. These 5 types of people should not go to funerals, not superstitions. It is the experience exchanged by the ancients with blood and tears. Kaizo King Bodhisattva Mercy. It's just a dream. Reiterate these soon-to-be-forgotten truths. Someone asked the watchman brother what's on his mind now. The funeral is halved. These rules are still useful. Oh? Wang Shuren's policy and the form of rules can change, but the rationale remains the same. Pregnant women need peace and quiet. Newborns need protection. Patients need training. School leaders need meditation. The hospital needs to resolve. This is always true. The true intention of the Bodhisattva in the beginning is to let us before life and death know how to respect life, compassion for others, grasp the scale. Time flies. Wang Jiakan has become the most valued of this generation. Funeral ceremony village. Strange thing is, since following the rules of the Wubu district, never left the village again. accidents during funerals. Newborn survival has improved. The elderly generally live longer. Spring of the 25th year of the Republic of China. Wang Shiren has passed the age of no confusion. A certain twilight, he was weeding at his grandmother's grave. Suddenly saw the pig by the grave, hidden lotus transplanted from the branch. It actually bloomed 18 white flowers. Corresponds to the string of 18-year-old plants he treasured. In the breeze he seemed to hear the voice of the Bodhisattva again. Rules are dead. The human heart is alive, beginning with nothing, not to bind the world. As an awakening of compassion, know how to maintain distance at appropriate times, sometimes the deepest concern. Wang Shiren bowed respectfully to the west. In the sunset, his shadow is very long. As if on this land, the shadows of life and death over thousands of years overlay the ancient wisdom of life and death. So through a strange dream, a rosary, a clump of white flowers, there are stories passed down by word of mouth, passed down quietly in turbulent times. And the 5 articles of Kaizo King Bodhisattva begin, gradually integrated into folk customs, become a half-century time for many people. The words that elders always tell. Pregnant. Far from safe new celestial population. 3 dynasties Mo admission. Laughing unsatisfied. Those who have been seriously ill for a long time. Sin is above all else. Those who have a grudge against the king. Just feel it. This is Jizo Bodhisattva. Compassion begins. Remember, remember. These words seem to be promotion constraints. It's hidden. It is the most simple reverence for life, the most gentle care for fate, and to those invisible boundaries of yin and yang, a humble respect. Because in a land that believes the dead are great, people always remember how to send off the messenger. It's how we treat life. How to follow the ancient principles, how to pass on civilization. And the bottom line of all this, it's just the eternal poetry of the Bodhisattva King Kiso. Hell is not empty, is not a Buddha. There is no end to life. Founder Bodhi.